ado, I want to welcome our first panel up on stage.
I am Drew Hanish, CEO and founder of Pravo Construction. Pacemaking to Pravo Construction, and what that means to us is how are we blending both kind of the authenticity that we know and love of Austin and blending that with the new. And so, how are we taking new developments, architecture, construction, those things into consideration and preserving the culture that we know and love, and one of the reasons why so many people come to love Austin and move here. I think that's really the big trend that we are seeing, is the city really getting involved in a concerted effort to make sure our creative culture and our creative class and our arts and those types of things are being blended with our developments in our communities. There's a combination between kind of keep Austin weird and how are we also innovating and building into the future. And we went into historical 323 Congress and put a censure in there. For those of you that had an opportunity to be in that space, it's an event space, large occupancy level on the first floor, office space on the second and third floor. So that's a good example of kind of taking that old historical, blending that with a new, with a really creative office space, with a really creative high-tech entity. We've done quite a bit of work at Norwood Tower, which is one of the original high-rises in Austin, replace all the MEP infrastructure, and for them to be able to plan and doing tenant suites and lobbies, corridors, and make those creative tech spaces. Speaking towards the corporate interior, which we do heavily, and just some of the trends that we've seen there is, I think that working remote for a short period of time was sustainable. I think that we still need heavy collaboration space and the ability to be able to get our teams together and collab and have space where there's that gray bit of interaction that's really, really important to building the strength of the team. Certainly in the creative and in the tech world, those things are incredibly important. I think there's a lot of really, really strong brands in Austin, and leaning into that to be in our developments, making sure that those Austin brands are incorporated into that. You're seeing that bleed into other cities, and the people in those other cities know that that's an Austin brand because we've put a flag in the ground in our developments, and so when people know that brand, it's synonymous with Austin.